Yeah.
So, we are here to talk about Talking Roleplay with my guest here, Klaus. And well, the whole idea, right, is figuring out how people roleplay in Russia. And to have this talk without getting sanctioned by the state, we went to space.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
Mr.
Space.
Mr. Worldwide, for real, for real. Okay, good. So let's get into it. The first, I got a couple questions, so it's a bit of an interview, a bit of a talk show. The big question for me, where I want to start, is what made you get into the role-playing hobby in the first place? Like, where did you start?
Oh, so actually, just like 1 week ago, I gave a lecture in the local TTRPG club, and I started my lecture as my like backstory, how I started doing it. So it's part of my talk in Russian probably, but not in English. But like, to make it short, when I was in like 10th grade, I think 9th grade. Yes, 10th grade in school, my older brother introduced me to all this, LARP community. So I started with LARP. And then,
really?
yeah, and then one night, just I think it was a New Year Eve, like for the West, it's a Christmas Eve, right? Someone like run for us. It was not a like tabletop RPG. It was just we called it like a narrative play. There were no even like dice there, just just a story, just the turns that everyone takes its own turn and tells the story, and I really liked it. And then later on, I think in 10th grade, the friend of mine actually offered me to play in a TTRPG. It was a Russian TTRPG. I don't
What's it
think
called?
so the name of it is The Swordsman, a Mage, and a Bard. That's the name of the So
Is that a literal translation of the Russian name, I assume?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Mechnik, Mag, и Ministrel. Oh yeah, Swordsman, Mage, and Menestrel, or Bard, right?
Right, the minstrel, the bard, yes.
Menestrel, right. So I liked it too, but I think like the GM that ran the game for us, I didn't like his style. I just noticed like
He
something
sucked.
is
No.
yeah. Okay. He cannot hear me right now. So yeah, probably yeah, stuff like that. So yeah,
You're safe here. We are in space after all.
yes, yeah, it sucked. So from the GM perspective, yes. But I played with my friend. He was actually trying to he was entering the he was planning to study in like theater, like academy, something like that, to become an actor. So therefore the game was actually cool, like, to play with him. And later on I decided, okay, I think I can do it on my own. I can run the game. So I collected the same friends and offered them to GM for them, to be a game master.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started with another Russian game with the name of like what is the age of, I don't know this word, like Era Водолеец, this, like, there are like several constellations. The constellation of the person who has a jar with the water. How do you call him? This guy. Do you know it?
No, I don't.
But yeah,
like
okay.
a star constellation, you mean?
Yeah. So it was like agency game about the agency that trying to hunt mysterious creatures and protect people from weird stuff.
Okay.
So, but it was again Russian thing, and I didn't like it. And later on, I just chose a neutral system, like almost GURPS light version. They just ran a fantasy setting for several years with my friends from my school and university, and that's how I started like doing this. And I have never ever since that moment until now GM'd a D&D session. I played it twice or 3 times, but I was never a dungeon master. So I have a weird experience, not the common maybe, Yeah.
Well, that's a question, right? Like, what is common in Russia? What do people play or role play? I find it interesting that you talked about this narrative play as the entry point. So, what
Yeah.
made that one different when you
You mean?
say because you did say everybody takes turns, and over
Yeah.
here,
I
like,
mean, the narrative play is we call it like we call it even like a word play. Something. The literal translation will be like a word play. It just means
oh,
the like TTRPG, but there is no system. There is no dice. Just
okay,
GM has all the rights to say what happens, and players just they try to do something, and just GMs sometimes just can toss a coin maybe or roll a die, but there is no system, so he decides what will happen. So it's a really primitive like storytelling game. It's a like storytelling narrative game.
oh, okay. So, my first idea was like a dinner play. Sometimes there are those dinner party games where everybody plays a character, but you just talk to each other and pretend to be that guy. And then, somebody disappears and then pretends to be dead. And, the lights turn off and one guy's dead on the floor. And that's the whole play. Like, who did it? And,
Oh,
and you have like a small bullet board of notes of secrets you want to keep to yourself.
yes,
And that's a
we have those. Yeah,
different kind of play to what you're
yeah.
describing.
We have these too. We have these kind of games too, and they're popular. Like in the LARP community, in the like role plays community, that different. We call them like role players. When we say role players, we don't not we mean like a really wide range of people. So those who play LARP, those who play like this type of games in a closed space, like in a
Yeah.
room or an apartment or in a hall, or tabletop role players. We call all of them like role players. So
Oh,
I had
interesting.
experience in all of these genre, right? All these settings of the role play. So, but at the end, I kind of I've been like grounded. I just realized nested probably in this TTRPG. For me, it's more comfortable and at the same time challenging and like right mixture, right yeah, like it's a proper amount of imagination and also comfort, so I could feel more like comfortable to play out a character and not worry about when I can go to the toilet or that I need to change my wet socks somewhere in the forest and not to die from like some orcs.
Wait, is that a problem? Are people that when we talk about role playing, I think the most basic version is to be in your character and to experience the world like it is. But you
Yeah,
say role playing is much bigger when you talk about it in Russia. That it's also LARPing and those crime dinner plays and be
yeah, we
having
have
to worry
yeah.
about when you're allowed to go to the toilet, which
No, you just
I assume
no.
it's an extreme example, but right, like where
Yes,
do you break the
yes.
scene to deal with? Okay,
So
my socks are really wet. I need to change them, guys. Give me a
okay,
minute.
okay, okay, okay. So we talk about when we talk about LARP, for example, you can have uh, different like difficulty level. It's like how much you want to actually be in your character role. So
Right.
in some LARP games, big LARP games, the people say, okay, if you have some real life issues that are not threatening, but still, you just put a white piece of clothing on your head and you kind of disappear. You will become like a ghost, and you do your business, and then you come back to the game from the spot where
Okay,
you
so
left.
that is what this is like. I need to order a pizza for tonight, otherwise I will be hungry. So you
Yeah,
put the
yeah, I'm
hat
just
on.
hungry. I need to eat. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Or I need a drink, right? I need a
I,
beer.
I need to tell
So,
my mom I'm
but
still okay, that I will be back later. Something like that.
but sometimes some like some teams of the game masters, they approach it differently. They say, oh, okay, uh, can like we as a players, as all the participants, can we agree that if it's not super important or super dangerous, if you have some like you need to go back to your I don't know tent, right, to change your wet socks, you actually need to go to your city where you live, like in game, and do
Yeah.
it kind of in game, and don't drop out, don't leave your character. So, and because of that, actually, I have a really funny story when I was on a big game on the like Lord of the Rings settings, and and
Yeah.
and we were hobbits. So I was the mayor, like the main guy, like the of the I think Shire. I'm not sure, like one of the cities of hobbits. So actually, the girl, one of the hobbits, the girl, she received the ring, like the main ring.
Oh,
This
their ring.
Yeah, the ring. She received this ring, and actually one night she got really like really cold, and that's why I said it. Her socks were wet, and she wanted just to change her socks, but because the mystic like aura around this ring was represented by actually one of the like one of the person who was wearing the dark clothing with the hood next to her every time where she wants, she was following it, so everyone can sense something weird. We actually didn't let her in the city for different reasons, and she
Right.
used a ring, or she used their ring, to enter the city to change her socks. Because of later, because of that, the Gandalf like appeared in this same city,
Yeah.
and later on, all the Nazguls appeared here and destroyed this, killed everyone just because of the wet socks. So that's how LARP games can yeah, how frustrating it can be to actually role play your character. Yeah.
That's very interesting. That's also hilarious. Yeah. Oh my god. Guys, my feet are wet. Please, let me switch my socks.
Yeah,
It's
and we like telling her like, oh, something is weird, and like, and the ring starts to whisper to everyone inside the like behind the gates of the city, and everyone has their own opinion. It's dark, and everyone is afraid, and we decided not to let her in. So that's the
okay, okay.
result.
So I got your friend posted a comment in Russia. What does it say? He's
Oh,
talking
let me
about LARP.
see. Can I see a comment? Let me check it. For some reason. Oh, yeah. So actually, he mentioned the game that you talked about, the dinner game. We
Yes.
call it kabinetka, and kabinetka would be the cabinet. It's like it will be like an office game. Literal
Ah,
translation,
okay.
office games. So like a small room games. It's like LARP, but in a smaller. Like it just lasts for 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe one day, and for maybe 20 people maximum, 30. Like
Ah,
it's a really
okay.
small size LARP games. Yeah.
Gotcha. Nicholas, I'm not asking how tall the Hobbit is. No, that's
Oh, I was a tall hobbit. Yeah, really tall.
okay. So, right, you have this experience of LARP. Oh, it's enjoyable. Some people want to roleplay with you, and you quickly realize, oh, the way this game master roleplays is really bad, and you don't like the experience. But the other
Yeah.
guy that's from theater, if I understand
Yeah.
right, the
Yeah.
way he role plays is really enjoyable. What was the
Yeah.
big difference? Like, what did the first guy do? Like, the things that you really did not like that made you push off, so to say, and try
Yeah.
it
So it
differently?
was it was it was a bad role play. He was acting out of his character, out of the character of this neutral, the judge, neutral adjudicator, right?
Yes.
He was making comments on our actions, or
Oh,
adding
like, oh,
something
that's
like
a
to what we
bad
did.
idea. Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah,
Stuff like
yeah,
that.
kind of that. Or like, oh no, I don't know what I should do right now. Oh, okay, I think I know, and like stuff like that.
Ah,
So
okay.
while the actor, the person who will become who became an actor later,
Yes.
he was trying to be in his character and react to everything, like from the like he was acting it out, like he was trying to feel the cold. We were like the adventure was in the winter, and he was trying to feel the cold. He was trying to find the physical objects to represent his character, the scarf to wrap it around, and he needed this stuff to actually be immersed. And at first, at the beginning, it was like, yeah, little cringy. But then you realize actually it helps him to play much better than any of us. And that was really cool. He really like he was investing a lot,
Yes.
and you could feel it. So
So, do you think? So, what do you see as the normal way people role play in Russia? Your actor friend, was he the outlier, or is that the standard? Are people okay with you bring a hat, maybe to if you play a specific character that you have a hat on, or that you wear specific clothing, or is this already like I just want to sit down, and, unbuckle my belt and eat some chips while I'm Elrond, the wise elf.
So I would say it shifts. It's in the process of shift, like always, like it's always changing. It's shifting.
Okay.
When we started this, like when I started playing this, it was
How
like,
long ago?
what?
5 years, 10 years,
was like
50 years?
More than 10 years. It was
Okay.
it was like maybe
Early-
2007, 2006. Around there.
Okay, so long before D&D 5th edition. That's
Yes.
like 2012 is when I would say we had like a whole new renaissance of role players enter the scene. So you came in good like 6 years before that.
Yeah, like D&D was not. I don't know if it was so popular in Russia back then, but the different people played different stuff. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you say how people usually play, so before it was a really kind of nerdy like game for the informal people, like punks and the role players. They were really close to each other. They had like connections, right? Or
Yeah.
ghosts and role players. So this movement and other movements of like informal like people. So, but at the beginning it was the people tried to play it as serious as possible. But right now, like in our modern days, because of the what do you call it, globalization, right?
Yeah.
And how available this we have a lot of platforms right now too, like in all these Russian-speaking countries, not only Russia but like Belarus and Ukraine and other countries. So because of that, there is a big like what is influx, you say, like a movement of people like inside the hobby. So therefore we have all kind of ways to play it out, and most of the like 80% and maybe more, they just play it like we play it because it's fun. Like as long as it's fun, we play it. Like,
Okay.
not necessary with a beer. And you say pretzels. No one eats pretzels, I think, in Russia. But
Well,
so
the
as long as it's
joke
fun,
is beer and pretzels means you have a drink. It's okay to get a
Yes.
bit tipsy, but nobody gets drunk. I mean, unless the drunks, they get drunk. But people have
Yeah.
a snack, or they got some chips, or something, and they share it
I-
at the
I have a-
table while they.
I have an example for you. So
Yeah.
I think this Saturday, the previous Saturday, I went to this same TTRPG club where I gave my presentation, a lecture, and I played Vampire the Masquerade with
Yes.
the one GM. It was his third or fourth game that he ran, and I was like trying to play like as deep as possible, like as serious as possible.
Right.
Another player also was kind of strict with the rules and not to be like in character. Another player, he was a friend of GM, and he was like,
He was the friend.
no. He played well too, but like he was a little bit like lost in this setting. And one player came with a beer. So actually, another player came with the two bottles of beer and was drinking beer and eating while we were playing. And it was a little bit weird, the Vampire the Masquerade, and one player just drinks beer from the.
He's just chugging on the side while you
the
try
bottle, yeah.
while you're trying to eat somebody's clavicle with your ripping your teeth in, and he's just chugging
But
on the sideline.
but the
Yes.
player with the beer, she actually wears a super fancy dark vampire dress.
Oh. Oh wow. Okay. That's interesting. Well, that's a great point, which leads into like expectations of play. Since hey, it can be a play where the only difference if you succeed or lose is the game master flips a coin or rolls a die real quick, and you just narrate around the table what you're doing. And the other games that is really focused on the rules itself of the game, and other games that's really focused on role playing your character. That's what I see as like different expectations of people. What is important in this role playing game? Which, like for me, when I sit at the table, I definitely want to be my character and express the character. Some people get upset at like the word expressing yourself, but I'm not expressing me, Sonalar, playing the character. I'm expressing what the character would do and think and say in those moments. And, you know, sometimes I think it's a cool idea. Sometimes I think it's a bad idea, but it's what my character would do, so I commit. And there are different expectations at the tables. How do you in Russia handle those expectations of people that say, oh, cool, we have 4 people, but who's going to play the healer? We need somebody that heals the party. Or, you know, who is going to be the
Yes.
tank? Who is the
Yes.
who's wearing the
So
shield at the front line?
you'll not believe me, but it's more than that. If you find a random party of players, and you just join a random one-shot game, and people they even create their characters, the name, the agenda, what they wish, what they strive for, and then during the play, I was jamming this group recently. Uh, uh, During the game, when they need to solve something, one of the players just says, "Oh, you go forward. You have a shield." And this person says, "So what? You go forward." But you are the tank of the party. And I'm like, and I'm trying not to, not to say, "What are you talking about?" Because
Right.
I also try to be neutral, right? But
Yes.
I'm just silent. But then another player says, "What do you mean by tank?" And I'm thinking, "Oh, great."
Yeah,
Because
thank
sure,
God.
yes. But you see, so it's really all about the attitude and your experience and your cultural upbringing. I don't know how you were introduced to this hobby, like how you
Oh, okay.
like got used to play. It's really about that. Some people, like I can tell this, if people play Vampire the Masquerade, usually they're more prone to like role play deeper than people who play D&D.
Yeah.
So there are some systems that are not systems, right? Games that are actually usually like in the culture, in the society, have this, you know, how to say this, like not aura, but like considered to be like more chilling games than more serious games. But some of
Oh,
them
okay.
are the opposite. So but D&D right now is the most popular one, and it means that you can find like all type of players and GMs, DMs, right, who play this game in all different ways. But mostly people just want to have fun, and yeah,
Right.
and
I mean, that's the whole point. People just want to have fun. But what is fun is different to what people expect from the game. Like, you can show up to play chess or to play a different board game, and that is fun. But if you show up to play chess, you would like if the opponent tries to beat you, to challenge you. And the same with board games, you play to try to win. When I show up to a role playing game, I don't want the game master to beat me. I want him to represent the world. And if the world is deadly and dangerous and I go into the forest alone at night, there better be 6 wolves on my butt chasing me. You know?
That can kill you. That can
Yes.
kill you, right? Not
Yeah.
only be an obstacle on your adventure or your quest to become a god, right? But
Yes.
that you actually want to be afraid of.
Yes.
Yeah, and
what the townsfolk says, don't travel at night. We have wolves in these regions. Don't travel at night. Like, listen to them. They're talking to you. And also, you can
Yeah.
talk to them and find out information about the region and the village.
But do you have this phrase like in Russian language, in the Russian TTRPG slang, we have this phrase that some players they not, we don't say that they love it, but we say usually that DM Dungeon Master they want their players to eat glass. No? Have you heard about this?
No.
Like they actually force players to eat glass, so they make all kind of obstacles. They playing against the players, so they will eat glass. And what I discovered that there are some players that love to eat glass. They actually want to have this experience, this meme about dungeon master with the leather stripes and like half naked. So that's
okay,
sometimes it's really close to the idea how to play D&D.
That is the appeal of what did we call it? Almost like Mudcore, the dungeon crawling experience of going from room to room, and you never know if you walk into a trap and you're wounded, you're exhausted, your torches are running low, and you're still trying to survive and find the treasure and escape.
Yeah.
Everything hurts, but you don't have enough money yet to make it all worthwhile, Hans already perished 2 rooms behind, so we can't go home empty-handed or people is gonna be upset. Do you mean like that kind of like eat glass roleplay?
I think I make this joke
Like
more about
really punishing. The world is really
Yeah.
punishing, but you roleplay in it because it's exciting. You don't know if you live or die.
But that's a good approach to interpret this joke. but when I make this joke, I actually mean that there are some players that actually they feel that GM, that the game master, the dungeon master, is actually not trying to tell the good dark story.
Oh, he
but
just wants
actually
to
trying to play against the players, and they love it. And they try to find, to break the rules, to find the holes in the rules, and actually to overcome it. That's my approach, like how I approach this joke. But
so the goal of those table is the game master tries to kill you at every possible turn, and the players try to trick the game master with clever use of items and animals and whatever to get around it.
It can go even more, satiristic, like genre of, when all the players really want to break the game of the game master and kill his NPC, and he's really trying not to let them kill his NPC and break the game. So there are like different styles, different groups. But there is one thing, if
Go ahead.
may I add something. When you mentioned about the chess and playing the chess by the rules, etc. So I really like this comparison, this metaphor. I think someone did it. Maybe I don't think I invented this, but it sounds like So most people, right? Many players, they want to play like TTRPG. Like people want to have a good football match. They want to have a good football game.
Yes.
But some people want to play football well, right?
Yes.
And that's the difference. And we have this in the TTRPG too. Some players want to play it well. Some people just want to have a good game, like a good, nice game.
Right, yeah. And, playing football with your friends and shooting goals back and forth. And you don't have all the rules ready. You don't have, 24 players on the field, right, for each side, 12 people each side. With somebody on the bench, you're just kicking the ball back and forth.
Yeah, yeah. But even in some good teams even there are some players that just they play no, well, they play good, but they don't want to give a pass, right? They are not passing the ball to other teammates.
Oh.
So even in the most simple activities, most simple hobbies, I think football is simpler than a TTRPG. Like it's easier to start it, it's easier to play. Even there, you have players that you don't want to play with.
Yes.
So it should be much more with the TTRPG. Therefore, that's totally another question. Maybe it's a totally another discussion about real life TTRPG clubs where you don't know with whom you're gonna play the game, like this one shot, the game master, and you cannot build a strong. I don't really believe you can build a strong, like table. It's harder to find good players to build a table in the TTRPG club because usually it happens, on someone's apartment, someone's place, and not in the club. So, but that's another issue. That's not today's topic, as I think.
How do you, and I assume this might be a more of an issue in Russia since there's so much land, and I assume there's so much land that just does not have internet. You cannot connect to play a role-playing game with because of infrastructure. So is and where comparison to America, everybody has a car and they've been playing D&D for 40 years, so they just
Okay.
drive to each other like 4-hour drive to play a game for the weekend and drive home again.
I've never heard about players for Dungeon Masters that actually spend, like 2 hours or more to drive somewhere to play. It can be a thing, but the idea is, like at least in Russia, I don't know about Belarus, Ukraine, and other countries. Uh, Usually the cities are they're big, and usually people who play TTRPG or other stuff they try to communicate with each other or
Yes.
like based on the like geographical right positioning. So they play in this city with the people in this city. Usually those who are close in your neighborhood, right? You
Yeah.
cannot just travel somewhere like it's just not comfortable, not easy. But I heard that Moscow, for example, in Moscow, I've never lived in Moscow, but the metro system there, the subway, is really developed, and you can get to another part of the city really fast. And there,
Okay.
I think players can go and play. But on the other, like on the same moment, in Moscow, the price, the value of the time, the price for the time that you spend is much higher than any other city. So
Right.
people
Yeah.
are
It,
less
it
prone to drive somewhere just for TTRPG, like for 4 or 5 hours. So it's harder.
You mean? I mean, it is the big city, right? This is New
Yeah,
York. This is the city on in the country. So if you live there, you have things to do. You're going to university or you have a job. You got bills to pay. So
yeah,
what do you do in your free time when you have 4 hours? I'm not spending an hour driving to a friend, 2 hours playing, and an
it's
hour driving home again. I can see
yeah,
that.
and therefore, right now, especially right now, the online games have become, I think, they're becoming much more popular and easy to run and to participate. So right now we are in a stage of like developing new like local like Russian language based on the Russian language like platforms of like communicating and posting the game and offering all the kind of opportunities. We have several, I think, options right now on this Russian speaking market online. So and all these TTRPG or TTRPG, virtual tables. Also, even while the Russia and other countries are under the sanctions, right? There are ways how actually people installing those virtual tables and actually play this game, even on Discord. That is
Yeah.
also Discord is also like canceled. You can't have access to it like in an easy way in these countries. So
Oh, really? It's like
yeah,
Discord. you need to find
Yeah.
a workaround to use Discord.
Yes. Yes. And I like if this recording will go to the to the media somewhere in Russia, I cannot even pronounce those three letters that you can use to 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 find a way to for Discord to work in the country, because it's prohibited to advertise right now these three letters that allow you to make a route around
Right,
the
right.
internet traffic, right?
Because it's like, okay, don't do it. But also, if you do it, don't advertise it because we will slap you on the wrist, or
Yes, yes.
you
You
will
know,
get punished,
yeah,
so to say.
it's like in on every media with when someone says about any kind of drugs, they say like
Yeah.
we're against the drugs are bad. So it's the same way with those other three letters like V, P, and N. It's bad. We're not recommending it. It's prohibited. Don't use it.
Okay, okay. I wanted to ask. Well, I'm asking out of ignorance because I don't have many Russian friends. Like I don't have any nobody.
You
So
have one already. You
yes,
have
I have one.
one.
Okay, this is true. This is true. But I'm very interested with, and so where would people go to organize a play together? If there's Discord is not allowed, so is Russia trying to create their own Discord that they have more control over, or is there third party sites that get that what is the word, that fill the role that is okay to use?
There are like alternatives in Russia. It's like we have a really famous company like Google, but not a Google, and they
Right.
have all kind of instruments like Google Meet. But of course, they do not work as good as I've never seen anything so like not easy to use, but so comfortable to use as a Discord, where you can control actually the volume of each participant, and like it's really
Oh,
really comfortable tools.
yeah.
So there are tools for the online calls, like but most of the good software engineers actually already left
Oh
the
no.
post-Soviet countries, or they are leaving, or they want to leave it. So I think alternatives are not as good as they can be. Like we
It's
can
o-
understand.
it's okay. We are in space, so this is a safe space.
Yes. Yes.
I understand.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, the main problem is like currently right now, I think not every day, but like every like several months, there are more and more like websites and software that you cannot use in the post-Soviet countries, not only in Russia, and that's makes it like that's that builds up like a huge problem for the community, any kind of community that is that is like minority, right? Role playing minority of the country,
Yes.
because it's a minority group, to communicate, actually to run the game, to play with someone over the long distance, because you cannot rely on the connection on the software that you're using, and I just ran a one shot like I think 2 weeks ago with some people from different cities in Russia, because right now currently I'm not in Russia, right?
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah, so but I think one person was always there's his video was lagging, and audio, like we had audio problem. We tried to record it, so there are some issues, yeah, and that's the
And so those
that's the
issues are those infrastructure based. Like Moscow probably just has the best infrastructure, but in the satellite cities or the further away you go, do you have big internet problems trying to record with camera and microphone?
I think, I will not lie if I say that if you are trying to do it like inside the country, if all of you are inside the main, like the, I don't know, mainframe or whatever, if you are close to each other, it will not be an issue.
Okay.
If you don't want to use actually Discord or other services, then you need to use VPN and other stuff that are prohibited in Russia, right? And then you'll have all kind of problems. But if you just want to use any kind of I know, like Zoom like, Google Meet type stuff where you cannot control the volume of each participant, where it's like harder for you to share the screen, where it takes more traffic to use these technologies.
Ah,
It all
yeah,
depends on your like internet connection and your fiber optic, whatever.
yeah,
And but again, like we have like the last thing, maybe it will be important for those who want to know, like what we have right now in the Russian speaking community. We have a huge, we call it like a database of the tabletop RPG players. It's like a Google like
oh, like
spreadsheet.
a spreadsheet, a
Yeah, and
collection.
everyone can then put up what he wants to play, like if he's a GM or player, if he's searching for the game online or in real life, blah blah blah. And like you can find those like players really easily. But the problems start when you like, for example, I'm interested only with like running games or playing with those who have web cameras.
Yes,
And many players, you maybe it will
they
be
don't
interesting
want
for
to
you.
show their face.
Yes, they play online just
No,
in voice.
please, I'm too ugly for the camera. Please.
Yes. I don't know how you can make the social game even less,
Even less
entertaining.
social.
If Yeah,
Yeah,
even less social. So stuff like that. Yeah.
that's very interesting to me. Since like when I started online playing, I never played with Germans or Swiss people. I mean, I played locally with Swiss, I played locally with Germans, but when I started playing, I found people through Roll20, I found people from different Twitch communities that like to
Okay.
talk about role playing games, and I played with
Yeah.
them. And I think I never played with Skype, so we used the voice chat in Roll20, which that was a feature. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
it's still any good, but well, it was always bad. Let's say it like that. It was always
Mm-hmm.
bad, but
Yes.
it would be playable. But it's no web. Like everybody always was pushing back against cameras because they want to relax, they want to chill, they don't want to put a fresh shirt on or something to play a game. And I played with people from Czech, like near the city of Prague. So it was
Mm.
interesting role playing with people that also have English as the second language, but it's what we
Oh,
all
it's hard.
use to role play with.
Yeah.
So I want to
It's
ask
hard.
you about this part. Hey, role playing in a second language has all of your role play so far been in Russian? Have you tried role playing
No.
in English? And how did it go?
No, I even ran several games in English, and even for
Oh,
some like native speakers, it was hard, but I did it somehow. I mean, I think it didn't suck even once I ran a module for I think three like native Americans and one girl from Philippines, and it was a mothership, right? So
yes.
so and sometimes it was like really like tense. So it was cool. So for me, it's a challenge, and the challenge is basically like any person whose English is a second like language, is that your active vocabulary is not as good as the passive vocabulary. So
Yes.
it means probably you are a better player than a GM, and probably if you're a good player, you cannot play as a character with a really good social verbal like skills. So I think my first experience of playing in English was when I played actually as Nicholas. I played as a goblin in a Greenwild
Yeah.
server, because playing the character that like his language is a little broken. It's always fun if you actually your language is not as good as you want. That was my excuse, for example, when I played the goblin, right? So that was nice, and then I kind of slowly like tried more and tried to run a game in English. I still not I don't feel comfortable when I run a game in English or I play. It's more stressful for me, but
Right, because as a player, you think about what would your character say and how would he say it. Is he a
yeah,
professor or a mechanic or a waiter, a cook, or the president? They all speak
yes,
different English. It's not even the
yes,
same English. It's different ways of saying something. Do
yeah.
you like use a slang or does your character repeat himself?
That's hard. That's hard.
Yeah, it's difficult.
And the issue is when you play with the like native speakers, when they crack jokes or using like really like cool sentences,
Oh, the joke doesn't
you can
make
laugh with
sense.
them. You can understand. You can understand them. It's cool, but you cannot react in the same on the same language level, on the same semantic level.
Yes.
So it will be like in a movie, right? And you like just oh yeah, haha, like
I feel like this is the same thing that is happening right now with this whole the Zoomer language of people say
yeah.
race and Ohio, and they are developing a new vocabulary to talk in the in crowd, with their peers to separate themselves from the boomers and the unks and whatever they're saying nowadays. It's still English, but it's a coded way of speaking to make sure, oh, he's from the same region as me or the same age as me.
Do you mean stuff like 6, 7?
Oh my
What?
God, yes, exactly. I mean, that
So
one
what what
that one
what would
doesn't
you
even
choose?
make any sense.
What would you choose? 6 or 7?
I choose 7, of course.
If you ask me 6 or 7, I'll choose 11. I like this number more. Yeah, you said 7, right?
Yeah.
You know why? I can tell you why. Because the most PBTA game powered by the apocalypse, 7 is a partial success and 6 is a failure. So that's the meaning. Look, we found the meaning of this meme. 6 or 7. Of course, 6, 7.
7 is
That's pretty
also the
good.
most likely number to be rolled with a 2d6.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. So it's 6 or 7. It's a bridge. It's a crucial like
It's a linchpin.
order.
Absolutely.
Yeah, linchpin. Yeah,
The tipping point.
yeah,
Okay, we got a few comments. Oh, that's just us getting old. Okay, yes. I mean, we are getting old. And I feel when I was young, it was cool to say cool. But not just that, we were cursing and cussing our mouths off. When I was a teenager, we said heinous, absolutely horrible things out loud. Like telling people like you're the son of a whore. That was just every second sentence, literally at everybody that like slightly pissed you off just a little bit. And I am a Swiss person from what do you call a rural place, like out in the
yeah,
woods. The village was
yeah,
600 people, and we spoke that way still.
yeah.
And through growing up, I realized like, oh, those are things that I'm doing to make myself special, not because it's cool.
Yeah.
So then developing. Well, that's just an aside. So the big thing was speaking a different language at the table and speaking from different characters. But as the game master, you're trying to play multiple characters that all speak
Yeah.
differently,
Yeah.
and that can be very hard. But also, how do you describe a scene?
Yeah.
When we watched games online, have you watched Crispy's Unsolicited Advice?
Of- of- uh, oh well. What can I say?
You've seen a couple of them, okay?
Yes.
And the thing
Yeah.
is, they also describe the scene, but they move the camera as we see, panning the camera from left to right. We go from the church to the inn tavern, and
Yeah.
I sit here and think, Who is moving the camera? What does the camera have anything to do with role play?
But
When
do
I
you know
imagine this,
yeah,
I mean, when I
sorry.
imagine the scene, right? I want it
Yeah.
to be described of what is there, and then if it's the start of the game, at some point the game master will say, "And my character is here in that scene." So then I know where I am in this world that he is describing, and then I can roleplay. Or he doesn't do that, and I put myself in that world where I think I would be. You know, am I in the church or am I in at the inn or outside the inn,
Uh,
puking my guts out, drunk?
there are two. I see two clear reasons why this is the modern approach of the description of the scenes with this cinematographic, right? This movie-like
Yeah.
method of like we cut to this scene where you
Yes.
can see blah blah blah. Two reasons. First of all this like movie market, right? And even before, if you read any like, manuals and books for TTRPGs, they were comparing the game TTRPG to a novel that we are writing together, to a book, right?
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
now, the new systems they talk about cinematographic or like or movie like action filled
Yeah. It's
genre.
like you're in the movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And they say when you're building up a scene together, you need to think like like several directors, like producers or script writers, not script writers, but actually like not a camera person, but a director, right? Several directors that
Yes.
offer in how the scene will be, will develop. That's the that's the second reason, right? And more than that, I saw in systems like in the books that they actually tell you use this like vocabulary from the movie, like and now we cut to this scene, like make this idea so you can represent, to show up the scene that happens somewhere where the characters are not right now, so the players can feel that world is alive, but the characters are not there. So
Yes.
it actually it's been offered right now in the modern like systems. Or I saw it, and actually I used it too before I like before I met this like hardcore aggressive role play approach of 4D, right? So because like personally when I was trying different systems, the last one that I really fell in love was actually Forged in the Dark, engine, and it worked pretty well actually to push players to narrate more. That's why I liked it, and how fast was it. But then like right now I'm shifting back to the idea of, as you said, that nothing is happens if it not happens right now with these characters, and they are the only one who sees stuff. So I'm kind of need to accept the idea that probably Forged in the Dark is not the best engine for doing this.
I think what I find really interesting is this language and those rules and how we describe running a game. They are trying to solve the problem of players not doing anything and sitting there
Yes,
waiting for the
exactly.
game master to do all the work. It's
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
The
player, take
modern,
the
yeah.
camera into your hand and describe what you
Yes.
see.
Yes. Yes. That's the modern systems try to solve the problem of this
Of lazy
hobby.
players.
Big, yeah. 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 So no, it's like as psychologists would call it, those are like cultural swings, right? So
Okay.
before it was like the game, it's the game is about the game master. It's his world, it's his story, right?
Yes.
And you are just a small, like, I don't know, adventurers that will eat glass, right? And the
Exactly.
GM
You
knows
will
everything
eat
and you don't
glass.
know. So yeah, and then probably in the culture, like people realize, no, it's something's wrong with that. So they move to the opposite, opposite this period of
Right.
like
Like,
swinging wings, like all this fate system and
Yes.
PBTA that no, you in your turn you can build a scene, blah blah blah, and the game master is there as a
When it's your
equal
turn, you can
guy.
spend your meta currency to
Yes.
invent a new NPC
Yeah.
or a weapon or a faction into the world on the spot. And
Yeah.
sometimes it's literally a rule. Sometimes it's like a suggestion. Oh, the book
Yeah.
recommends you play this way, but there are no rules attached. And when there are
Yeah.
rules attached, then the players use those rules to beat the game with instead of to roleplay.
Yeah.
That has been
And
my experience at least. Like, do you see that happening at the tables you've seen in Russia? People they use those meta currency rules to like beat the game instead of creating a cool moment to roleplay.
well, I'm not acquainted with many, tables or I know the systems that use meta currency to implement this stuff, but I don't think they're so popular in the Russian community. At least I didn't meet
Oh, okay.
those tables. Like I know about like Dagger Heart right now becomes like popular, right? And
Yeah.
there is a meta currency there, but usually like Coriolis or Dagger Heart, where usually the GM has a meta currency to actually allow him to add more events in the scene. That I find hilarious. It's like, it's a swings that moves back. No, GM actually can do stuff, and it's so amusing
It's
to me that you need to use meta currency for this, and you
yeah.
cannot just add stuff. So,
The,
but again, I know players that really love PBTA and Forged in the Dark specifically because they have freedom of and a rule how they can co-create something in the scene, and everyone will be okay with that because that's the game that we are playing. We know the system, right? That's the game, and that's different than D&D. So yeah, so I would tell that from my experience, I would prefer to play any kind of game in any system with the players or game masters that prefer narrative TTRPGs than the classical one, specifically because they want to participate in this co-creation process. They understand that we are all together creating the story. Than playing the classical session with a classical GM and classical players. They just expect GM to throw at them stuff, and they just
yeah.
experience what GM prepared for them.
So I find this interesting because those are it's like the two different ways people see role playing games. It's the tables that eat glass, trying to outsmart the dungeon master to kill the characters that the dungeon master wants to keep alive, and you have this
Yes.
competitive back and forth. But people enjoy it, or they
Yes.
enjoy it at first, and at some point it gets boring, and you just want to like play together instead of always. It's like you always show up to fight with your girlfriend, and at the end you're just exhausted.
But there is a easy solution. If you got bored of like eating glass and trying to defeat the game master, the only thing you can do is just become another dungeon master and
Make
make your
other
own
people
party.
eat glass.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Because what are other alternatives? What are other alternatives, right? We don't have any other, right? We don't have, right? No, we have other alternatives.
Let's talk about the alternative. I mean, before we do that, like we already pointed out that the role players of everybody gets to have the camera and move the scene around, and you spend your meta currency to invent a new faction or a new something new and interesting into the world, and it's put into as a role that you can do. One of the things with because I've never played those games myself. My friends, when I tell them about 40 roleplay, that's what they imagine we are doing. So I would like to draw the difference between that style of play of trying to like frame the scene and cutting to the other players, and the camera moves around in the cinematic, using cinematic language, and with this language, what I assume they want to achieve is for you to feel like this is a cool movie. But my goal is to feel like the world is real. I don't want to imagine a movie set. I don't want to imagine a play. All of this is real while we are playing. And anything that breaks that illusion, well, we are not schizophrenic yet. We are not, we don't have psychosis. We understand reality from fiction. So we want to keep this world as real as possible until the session is over. And then we can, break the surface again and breathe in fresh air and acclimatize ourselves back to the table instead of the universe that we played in.
Yeah. What can I add to this?
Is this something that you like? It's like the first question.
The thing is, the reason I think I became a forever game master, right? Forever GM, was exactly because when I was trying to immerse myself into the setting, something was happening from other players or the game master that actually were like breaking this illusion, right? Especially when I was playing the same dinner party games or LARP. Like retrospectively, when I look at it, I was always trying to play as, like in Russia we say, like as deep as possible, right? As I don't know, say as aggressive as possible.
I like this, as deep as possible. Like, let's delve as deep as you can. Let's go down as deep as we can.
Yeah, but what you inevitably will find that the people are different, the other people are different, and not all of us actually want this experience, and not all of us want to see others diving so deep, right?
Yes.
So, and that's why I became a GM, because when you are a game master, you actually kind of have a little bit more room, and you kind of giving those rules to the players, and you have more control, and you actually can push your wheel a little bit further, right? Will it be a beer and pretzel game or a serious role play?
Control is a big word here, because I think that's the same reason why we have so many control GMs. They realize, like the game master is always beating me, making me eat glass. Let me become the game master, and I punish all of my players, and I have control over this whole world. And they are too afraid to let go of their Gandalf character. Like, let him die. If the rogue stabs him in the kidney, he should be bleeding out instead of pondering the orb. Like,
yes, and that's one of the reasons, actually, from my experience, that many GMs that run their game, they can talk a lot about rails in the game and improvisation skills, etc., blah blah blah. But actually, really few GMs can run the game and actually, lose this control and actually let the players make the game and not tell your own story.
Yes.
That's what I started to learn just really like recently, like with the help of Tori again, this like Blades in the Dark, this like book that tells you, okay, the game is not about you. Like the game is about the story that we all take, that will happen. Don't be afraid that character will die. Don't be afraid that it will go not according to the plan. And that really helped me to understand like what this game is about. It's not about me telling the story. So, but when I say about the control, that's an important thing. Like when you as a player play a game, what you want to have a control of your character, right? You want to have a control what he experienced. You want to have a control what kind of description you will use for your person. You don't want someone to describe your dwarf or elf. You have your words because your elf is not like any other elf, right? So the same thing with the GM, but GM has a little bit more than just descriptions, right? He has this language vocabulary that he can use to put to make a correct setting. Everyone should reinforce the setting, the tone of the game, right? Will it be noir or something?
Yes.
But usually, if we're not talking about hardcore 4D sessions, like usually the game masters are responsible to keep this level of tone of the game, how they gonna do the description, like what kind of language they're gonna use. That's like that's from the that's what I mean when I talk about the control, right? Not the control of the narrative, not the control of the characters, but like he always a mediator, right? The one who actually need to
Mediator. Okay.
see
Yeah.
also control the spotlight, right? To give the spotlight, because if you are the player, you cannot break your character and says, "Wait, your turn was too long, right? Stop. I want to play it too." But the game master can
Why
easily
not?
say, like, "Dog, it's your turn." Like just the
That's
name, right? And
it's a question because I think many players are too afraid to just play the character now and not to wait for permission. Usually because,
yes,
like the game master pushes back, oh, it's not your turn yet. But why not jump in of like, oh, wait, he's speaking again? No, I'm speaking over him and forcing a turn order. I mean, the obvious answer, the first answer is, well, that's not cool. You're playing with friends or people, you try to, you have social credits. If you talk
yeah,
over other people, they will not like you very much. But also, if you do it a couple times and then don't do it, it is also a hint to the other players. Oh, I'm talking too much. I need to
uh,
share. I need to share more.
I have an example. Can I give you? Just
Yes,
you reminded me something.
of course. Go ahead.
Just recently on this beautiful Discord server, like 4D, right? 4D server. We played, like, group of us whose English is like second language. We played a short game in this, like, World of Darkness setting, but on a more simple system, right? And there
Right.
was just a scene. I just remembered one scene. So I was a lumberjack, right? That's the word. The
Yeah,
person who
lumberjack.
cuts the
Yes,
trees, lumberjack,
a woodcutter.
and yeah, a woodcutter. And there was another person, another player who was a sheriff, right? And then my character, like, was on a crime scene. I just saw a crime scene, and I wanted to make a call to another character, to a phone call, right? So I called him, actually, to end, like, as idea to end my turn and give him a spotlight. So
Right.
and to connect us, because we're in a different location. I want them to bring them to me, like, as a player. So I thought, I'm still thinking as a GM, like, I want to unite the party, but that's my problem, okay? So, but still, it was rational to call the sheriff, right, when you see a crime scene. So I made a
Right.
call. Another player is like, okay, I look at the phone. I saw who is calling, and I just, I'm not answering. I'm just, I'm not answering. Actually, he hanged the phone. He canceled the call, and then I'm
Yes.
like, shit, okay. And I'm doing something, and then the other player, the other character, they finish in their scene, and then he decide as a character to call me back. So he calls me back, and my phone is ringing, and I look it up. It's the sheriff, and I'm thinking, like, no way, and I'm just canceling his call. And you see, like, so it can happen in real life too, because he didn't answer, and I don't, because my character don't want to, like, he's stubborn. But on the same time, it's a part of this improvisational game, right? I kind of,
Yeah.
I gave an opportunity, you didn't took it, so I like, so for me when I play the game, I always, for me it's always, there is a game about how you actually play it. So it's like there are always rules above the system, right? The rules how you interact with other players. So for me, it's social component, psychological component of players is
Yeah.
you check the number. Uh, for me, it's important, right? So if the players do not respect other players, if they do not give the spotlight, it will not help my immersion. It will kind of,
Right.
yeah.
So before you got powered by which game did you say? Was it powered by the apocalypse? So like, oh, don't be afraid for your character to die, that kind of stuff.
Oh, it's Forged in the Dark, right? It's a like
Swords in the
it's
dark.
a it's a what's this like all these blades, right? What's Blades in the Dark and Scum and Villainy and stuff like that, right? Yeah.
Gotcha. So, and you tell me if this is right or wrong. You're looking for the system to solve the social component of how do I get the players to be in the world and be okay just acting in character and adding more to the world than just waiting until it's their turn again to roll a die roll. And and the switch to 4D is we are inventing a new language, well, a new rule set that you can use to say, okay, we are playing Blades in the Dark, or we are playing D&D, or we are playing Vampire the Masquerade, but we use the 4D system, the 4D culture, the 4D style to play with. So you now that we have a book about it, you can say, but we play with these rules. It's no longer,
Yes.
oh, Game Master, I don't want to play it like that. That's stupid. Well, you agreed to the rules, so therefore you must follow the rules.
Yeah, so I agree with the concept that I agree when someone says that no, like when I first introduced, I think 4D to one of my friends in this TTRPG club, he said, "Oh, in this case, why do not just play, in a narrative game? So just these
Yeah,
word game, like these narrative games without the need of making the dice rolls." And I was thinking, like, I know theoretically in the ideal situation when everyone in the group they just in this co-creative state, transcendent 4D reality, maybe the roles are not necessary. I said, but then when I finished reading the 4D handbook, the beginner, I was kind of like surprised that it was written that no, actually, like we need dice rolls because we are interested to the for the for the stuff, for the thing to unfold in an unpredicted way. We don't want, to agree on everything like together. We need to roll a dice to see like, oh wow, we want to be surprised. That's why we need the dice. Not as other systems tells you, when they tell you we roll the dice when we need to solve the the friction between the game master and the player, right? We need to
yeah,
solve like how this setting will unfold. But we're rolling the dice because we want to be surprised. We want something to happen that we do not expect and improvise in a way that the die tell us. So it's a different approach, right? So and at the end, yeah, when someone wants to play 4D, it means, but saying all that, I still think that if you play 4D, the 4D style, like rules of 4D style, they're kind of a little bit higher than the rules of the system, right? So they are more important. They have more importance than what kind of mechanics you're using. Because if they will be equal or something, or it will be other way, I don't think it will work. That's my experience. Maybe I'm wrong because I'm a newbie, but
well,
you tell me.
I think the reason why the 4D style is more important, and we are using style as in the way the book describes it, that
Yeah.
Better with Bacon describes it. When you sit down to play with friends, you choose a style, the whole, is it okay to drink beer and eat a sausage at the table?
Yes.
But then the
Yes.
player also dresses up with this incredible vampire dress that looks beautiful and is just stunning. So, okay, are we dressing up? Are we speaking? Like, are we doing a voice while we role playing? Or are you just talking with your normal voice to describe what happens around you? And
Yeah.
all of those things play an influence. And people decide of, oh, is this embarrassing, basically, right? Is this embarrassing to do or is it okay?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I need to feel comfortable playing with the other players at the table, and I don't want to
Yeah,
get judged. That's the big thing, right? Like nobody wants to get judged. We
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we all show up and think everybody's making fun of my hair. Meanwhile, if you look
Yes.
into the brains of everybody else, they're like, "Oh, you have a different hair? I didn't even notice."
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you reminded me one of the other players in this Vampire the Masquerade game. He's he's a man, and he said, "Oh, I'm gonna play a woman. If I will come to the game with a woman dress and and then the woman, like shoes, will it be okay?" Like, and everyone like, "Yeah," and I'm thinking like, I don't know, but I didn't answer anything. But I decided, okay, if everyone will be like dressed up, usually I don't care about how you dressed up. If you just, I need you to role play. That's the thing, right? But I thought, okay, if everyone will be dressed up, I will dress up too. So actually, I will also put a hat and a nice black clothing and a like amulet. So it was cool. But yeah, so at the end, actually, he was in the game, not in a dress. He decided not to at the end. But but the cosplay, yeah, some people think that the cosplay actually helps, like it's a role play. I don't think so, but again, I know some actors, and for them, if they wear a costume, it helps them to play their role. But I think it's a training
Yeah,
to face
absolutely.
the cringe. Yeah.
That's a joke on the Discord. Like, slop or not, call it. We watch videos to figure out
Yes.
if it's slop or if it's actually cool. It's like based or cringe, call it.
Yeah. I have this hat somewhere here, but okay.
Okay, so I'm thinking also, if I would show up on a dress, I will feel uncomfortable because I need to shave my neck, beard, and, and my mustache. I'm also a heavy guy, so I'm not going to look like a pretty woman, even if I tried
It, it
to.
it depends on the gender identity of your character, right?
Now, I could attempt to talk like a woman, which would be pretty much less assertive, like a different character traits, embodying different character traits. How would I react to a situation if I cannot solve it with just my muscles? Well, I try to talk with people, and I try to convince guys to do it for me, or try to play them against each other so that they don't think about me because I'm just a girl in the world. Depending
Well,
on the universe and the age, of course.
yeah. What's the word, like English word for this? You should have this word, right? It's like a cross-sex play, right? When someone being a man plays a woman and etc.
I
What's
don't
what's the
know if
word?
we have a word for role playing to do this, but yeah, it's like it would be cross. Is it cross dressing? Yeah, when
But it's
you
not dressing. When like, okay, we have this word. It's called cross pole, but pole in Russian language it's a sex, right? So cross sex play. It means some tables are allowed it, some not. When you are being a man and you want to play a character that is woman,
yeah.
or the opposite side. Some tables they don't care. Some table says no, it's cringe. It's not. It never
Yeah.
works.
And that's
So
the thing. It's like, oh, why is it cringe? Because it makes them uncomfortable. So you need to find out. Okay, are you chill?
yeah.
Are you chill if I or not?
Yeah. But what's interesting is, like, right, in this post-Soviet territory, it's not so right now, especially it's not so popular to be like discuss topic of gender and stuff.
Yeah.
So in a role play, it's actually just about you playing the character with a different sex. It's not
Yes.
you're not discussing the pronouns and stuff like
Yeah.
usually.
Exactly. I
But
find.
still,
Go ahead. Go
that's
ahead.
one of the conditions sometimes on the table that people ask, like, is it allowed or not? Because some people want to play an elf, right? But some ladies,
Yes.
they really want to try to play out being a man, and that's just they want to try. They want to try.
And that is a beautiful part about role play in my eyes, what makes this hobby special is you get to experience 1,000 lives. You get to walk in the sandals of somebody else for 2 miles. You know, like,
Yeah.
what? That's the whole saying. Why don't you walk in my shoes for a while? It's not literally wearing his shoes, it's experiencing the world as a mechanic, experiencing the world as a cook, experiencing the world as a maid, as the president, as a king, as a warrior, as a fighter, as a scientist. You get to wear all of these hats.
Yeah.
There's no reason to stop at gender. Besides of, well, the players need to be comfortable at the table, because if they're uncomfortable, they have a hard time role-playing.
Yeah, yeah, and just a thought. If we'll move back to the topic about this post-Soviet territory, like role-playing thing, I was just wondering, like, look, we already saw these jokes, right? I think you said this joke that you watched this vampire game. That I sent you a Russian vampire game, and you said, "Okay, now I'm convinced the Russians are better role players than
Yeah.
on the West."
The
I don't know if
Russians are
it's
better.
true.
They're better role players
Yeah,
because they don't make Marvel jokes at the table.
but 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 uh, oh yeah, so yeah, the adept says that there's cross-dressing thing and not cross-sex play around in English. Okay, cross-dressing, but I don't know if it's a dressing thing, because when you play in a tabletop games, you're not specifically wearing the costume of this character. So
so,
I
so
don't know the
the
better
thing
way to
would
say
be
it.
like cross-dressing would be, I dress up as a girl because to like go to a party, and that's, but nobody confuses you as a woman, or maybe you play with the idea that
Yeah,
somebody might, and that's the fun part.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you don't really lie about it, or you're still being yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I understand the term cross-dressing, right? And I think we have it in Russian. I don't remember like what's the way to say it, but we have a specific word of a playing
Yeah.
another like sex gender.
No,
But
Nicholas,
what I wanted,
it's not to pay half entrance fee for the club. No.
so yeah,
Yeah.
what I wanted to say is, I have a hypothesis, right? It's totally, I think, biased, and it's not true.
Go
Probably,
go ahead.
it's
Go ahead.
definitely not true. But it can be a thing if actually on the East people try to play their characters better than on the West. It can be like, due to the reason that is could be all this, theater background, like Russian theater, Stanislavski method and stuff. Maybe we don't know it. Maybe we didn't even study it. But people really, when they try to play, they really try really hard. Even it's like if it doesn't work, but they can overact, but they really try to
Oh, that's cool.
uh, to play it out. And yeah, so sometimes actually, I saw some players that are not good role players, but the reason for that is not because they're not trying good enough, but actually they're pushing too hard. No, they change
Okay.
their voice in it too much. They're like it just
So
becomes too much
so
the role playing.
they are overacting, right?
Overacting. Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, overacting.
And that's a big thing of accusations. I like to bring this up because I think this is the biggest misunderstanding. People see 40 roleplay and they think, oh, they are theater kids. So the
Yes.
question here is, well, if you're really into theater, you want to act as your character, but the overacting part is trying to get the voice just right and saying clever lines in character and reacting to everything that happens around you. While role playing is be as normal as possible. Don't
Yes.
sensationalize the moment because oh, it's like a movie set, so I should say a cool line right now. No, just, is that a line your character would say? And at
Yeah.
some point
That's
you stop thinking about it and you just are the character.
This is one of the classical moves from the improvisational theater. Actually, maybe it's not a theater, but it's improvise. When you like, it's one of the methods of good improvisation. When you respond to a scene or to the act, you don't need to think how to perform well so others will appreciate what you have said, but you actually need to think about what will be the most reasonable and believable response, not
Yeah.
to try to impress others. And that's, I think that's the crucial that you just mentioned one of the, I think, crucial like line between being a role player and being a good role player, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you're just a player, you really want to for GM for you expect from GM with whom you play to give you the most, like movie like stuff happening, action, and just you want to be amazed and amused and all
Entertained,
the
like,
time.
yeah,
Entertained, yeah.
entertain me, game master. Give me,
Entertainment, yeah.
yeah.
And on the same time, but then the second step, right? If you're a better player, you want to entertain others by your
Oh yeah.
moves and what you're saying. So I think that the real beginning of growth starts when you realize, no, it's not about entertain others, just to be the most believable character, to make the most reasonable choices, and just to say the most, like not radical stuff, but some mundane even reactions, because that's what makes the game feel real. And that's I think it's one of the things that they tell you in improvisation like theaters too.
This is why a game that is just about a Thanksgiving dinner can be fun and interesting to roleplay, because nobody is a hero, nobody is an agent, nobody is an
Yes.
alien or dwarf or an elf, but you are in the shoes of somebody that is not you, trying to imagine what would I feel like going to a Thanksgiving dinner. How well do I know my parents? Do I even like them? Did I like disappear for 3 years? And now I've returned for the first Thanksgiving dinner in a while, because maybe I was serving as a soldier in a war, so I finally got to return. And
Yeah.
that makes me
Yeah.
think, oh, those are cool ideas, but they're still normal. They're not special, but they are cool scenarios to role play through, because I don't have the answer. I want to play it.
And if you just noticed, that's another thing. I think the more advanced table is, the more advanced are the players, the more they, prone towards role playing settings and tones of the game closer to our like mundane mundane world and reality. Like they are less about like sci-fi and stuff, or like super mystical stuff. They actually, the table is more prepared and ready to play alternative history or like First World War or stuff like that. That most of the people, they actually, like, they think about this and it's not as interesting as to be an elf, right? uh, just I for me, that's what I find, at least for me. So for me, the more fantasy, the more like it's sci-fi, it's more appealing to me. But at the same time, I just understand it's much harder to role play if it is another character that is really in a setting and genre that you live in your life. But not to play yourself, but at the same time play someone else, but in a genre or setting that's really close to your mundane life. I think it's harder than pretend to be a wizard. Just takes more, I don't know what, skill. It's
What
talking about
makes you
skill.
think that this is harder? Because I imagine, hey, I role play as an elf. Okay, what is life and culture like when you see friends and connections die, and you live with their children and grandchildren, and they die as well? How do you perceive the realities of time? How fast do you act on something? And how do you let that influence your roleplay choices? I think those are elements that are quite alien to our understanding of how we would
Yes.
react to a situation, which makes it harder to roleplay, not easier.
Okay, we came to the interesting topic of the yeah. So I think when I say that it's harder, I mean something different here. I mean that
Okay.
when I play an alien in a sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
I can pretend to be anyone and react in any possible way that is not even close to the how humans behave. Right? It's a lizard man with any different culture, and the thing is, therefore, it's easier. I imagine like I don't need to go as deep in the understanding what this character feels just because it's so foreign to me, so I can pretend more and experience less. It's like this. There are there are several schools, but there are two distinctive schools in the acting in the theater. First one, you really want to try to experience this feeling and re- remember something in your own life, like you said, like someone is
Yeah.
dying, to experience this death of someone next to you if you're an elf and this person is a human. It's the first way to act it, and the second way is actually to be like not to feel it through, but to fake your emotions by how you move your muscles on your face and your gestures by looking at the mirror and just trying to mimic this behavior. I think I looked it up, so there are two approaches. So what I
I know.
say
I
is,
know that the
yeah,
mimicking behaviors is also an approach by psychopaths, so people don't know they're psychotic.
yes, this is a way to do it, and it's harder. I think it's harder the second
It's
way,
when they have a
but
small delay before they do the motions because they know,
yes.
oh, I should be feeling bad, and then they're like, oh no.
No, so my main point is that's what I try to think about. My main problem actually, I don't have such a big experience of being a player. That's my main problem, I think. I didn't like when you're talking about being an elf and experiencing when someone is dying and you're still alive. I just don't have this experience. I didn't have this opportunity to play it out, right?
Me neither. Like nobody ever dies when I play an elf. They're all alive still. But
Yes, yes, yes,
so
yes.
so I don't
But
think about it. So
so
okay,
so
go
so
ahead.
what so what I was so my idea was that my idea is that uh, if you play a setting that's really close to your own life, the chance that you will play out the character that is really similar to yourself, to you, will be much higher. So you are not actually playing someone else, you're playing a lot of yourself. So, and I know that we always play ourselves in some percentage, but I just say that it's harder to implement other uh, characteristic, other ideas, and a way of thinking. For me, I feel it. I think so. If you play someone who is really, really close to you, because you will react as you used to. Then, if you are in a fantasy world and you are a mage and you have powers and you can imagine like more like easier imagine how you will react in a different way just because you have these powers that you don't have in your real life. So that's if it makes sense to you,
So
that's what I try
I
to
guess
convey.
I'm a bit lost, but I find this very fascinating. So I'd like to extrapolate this a little bit more. If I understand you right, it's harder to play a character that you know, like in person. Let's imagine, oh, your father or your sibling. Because you're so close to him, it's harder for you to roleplay like you're that person.
Even you can put it further. It's harder to play a postman in a First World War scenario. It's harder to play him because to play this postman in this setting because it will be similar to you, right? It's a lesser role play. It's a more of expressing how you would behave in this situation. So that's what I meant.
Right, right.
But
Because
that's a deep. role-play philosophy that I just speculated because mostly I'm a GM and not a player, so I couldn't go to these venues, like experiencing all these, internal struggles of.
Well, that's the thing. Like when we role play, it's life. Time is moving. It's not going to stop for your special scene, for your like little Hamlet line, for your Shakespearean arts. We don't have time for that because the other players are also waiting for their turn.
Yes.
And the important part is acting your character and keeping your turns short, but making sure that it makes sense to who you're playing. So I'm the first World War postman. I try my best to be him and not to be myself. But I will not sacrifice the time at the table to achieve it. I do it in as quick as I can. And I think this is why it's fun to play the same character for a few sessions, because the more you play him, the more you can get into the character. What would it be like? And you have a scenario, a scene, and you act one way, then you have a break until next week, and you think back of like, oh, no, I think I would do it differently now. Now that I understand my character better, and you can tweak it as you play.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that again I always experience when I offer some players from this database just to play a one shot to get used to each other, to understand like how we understand the games, the role playing. But they refuse because they say just I'm not playing one shots, only campaigns. I'm interested only in the campaigns, and I think that's the reason that
Yeah.
people want to experience this, have this internal thing.
Are people showing up with their characters, or is it because in our ways of play, it helps so much if the players build their characters together, or at least have a session zero to talk about what kind of characters you want to play.
Yeah, I think it's a D&D culture, a lot of D&D culture that brought us this. Oh, I'm ready to play, and I have a marvelous character. Please, GM, just you will not believe me. Like, what kind of character did I did create? Like, just you need. Or some people play the same character on different tables, but yeah, it depends on the style. It depends on the style, of course, and in Russia too. It just depends on the style and a table and a system. But I think the healthy way to do it, to create the characters together and have zero session or at the beginning of the first session to do it. Yeah.
So in this way, the part of the one shot, and I understand why people are pushing back, but this is part of the vetting process. So it's a bit of supply and demand. If you are the only one that provides a 40 table, that also means nobody can compete with you. So either they do or they leave the table, right? But also, you cannot run any games if nobody joins in the first place. So
you need to go to the
yeah. So at first you can make some concessions of like, let's make a short campaign. Let's make 3 sessions. Let's make 5 sessions. And you rotate through players. Or maybe you do 2 games a week. So you get experience with different players. So you can set up your own table that is then willing to 40 roleplay. And that way it is also an opportunity to see how well do they understand 40 roleplay, and do they like it? Because if people don't like it, it doesn't matter if they want to play a campaign or not. I'm not going to suffer 20 sessions with somebody who's not role-playing their character.
Yes, and what I noticed already, it's much, much, much easier to explain the concept of 4D roleplay and just start doing it from the very beginning with a person who have never played it before, never played any TTRPG before, than to explain it and try it with a person who got used to the like old style. Because again, if you take someone as a player who is an experienced GM, game master,
Yeah.
they kind of can take this as a as a challenge, and they can do it. But like casual, like, usual players, it's really hard for them. But I already have an experience with the total newbies. You just explain them, look, there are many ways how to play TTRPGs. That's the way we're gonna do it today. I'm
Yes.
a different GM, right? And you just explain it and you start it, and it's it's great. It's great. Like yeah, that's fun. That's fun.
I agree. And I think I've seen a few game masters. They also game mastered for like the second session or third session ever. And they game master as a 40 EDM. And they also have an easy time to do it. Because
Yeah.
all they don't need to write a whole story. They don't need to create this whole universe. They just think about who is around the players and how would they react to what is happening right now.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is, I find, is much easier because in comparison to the other approach, you don't have all of these different like factions and minis and NPCs that you're moving around constantly. You just always focus on where the camera is pointed at.
Yeah, that's a big difference, and as I said before, the modern systems and games, I think they're really trying to grasp this idea with all these meta currencies and mechanics and narrative mechanics. They really try to make the game, the mechanisms to work smoother, right? And I don't think that they all go into this like 4D style at the end. They will not. Maybe some of them will not agree, like as a majority of the players, role players. But still, uh, I think that's what we are lacking in most of the games. Specifically this, specifically the immersion, right? It's not enough. It's not enough.
Yeah,
It's never enough.
it's the big thing about immersion getting broken constantly for asking how does this role work or can I
Yeah.
open the door instead of I try to open
Yeah.
the door.
Yes. Yes.
All of these problems is easily solved if you interact with the world, but it's very complicated if you ask the game master for permission first, or if you need to ask how the rules work in the first place.
Yeah, and why people started to ask game master if they can do something, specifically because they had an experience or they saw other games that other players had an experience with the game masters
Yeah.
that were actually pushing the players to eat glass, and they were walking on this scenario as a minefield where can I walk here, can I where are the
Absolutely.
rails, I'm a train, right, can I go side, no, oh, okay. They're just
Also,
like
like
examples more severe and less severe, right?
absolutely playing with those harsh game masters also means if I do something by myself without asking the other players if it's a good idea, I might just die and then it's game over. So,
Yeah.
and that's like thinking in the mindset of I lost the game or I cannot have fun anymore because my character is dead.
Yeah. So for me, as I said, one of the and other game masters who found this like who found this Forged in the Dark thing, or like Blades in the Dark, why it was part of it, why it became so popular, even right now, even in Russia,
Yeah,
because this idea of like, what if we're gonna play the bad guys and not a specific guy, but it's all about one band. And if you die, and you create another character, and you are not so attached to the character. So you actually, it's a high trust game, not because you trust the players more, but because like, okay, just I will continue game with someone else. So it's kind of it's alleviating some of the like this pressure, right? But only part of it, only part of it. I don't think that the system or the game system can give you a high trust game, and I think it's all started. TTRPG started as the game for your friends, right? To
Yep.
play with the friends, and the more we go, the more we move to the future of TTRPGs, it more and more becomes a commercialized entertainment activity for fun, and less a nice spend time of immersion with your friends whom you can trust and be open and be vulnerable. That's another
Yeah.
really important thing that I mentioned in the lecture that I gave, that part of the great part of experiencing the immersion in your character, when you can actually implement in your character some trait, your own trait and your own vulnerability. Like, not that you are playing a horror RPG in space and you're like, oh, I'm afraid of guts and blood. You got used to it. But actually, if you put another, a friend of your PC, right, who's your brother, and you have good relationship with your brother, for example, in real life, it will be much more you will be much more vulnerable if something happens with your brother, and that's another way to experience something like deep connection if something happens in the world. So, but because we don't have this high trust at the tables usually, we cannot afford ourselves to be vulnerable and experience more during the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I agree. I was thinking about uh, a couple of things. One of them being about vulnerability, where from where I stand, the role playing game is the most safe space. The the character I'm playing isn't real. The world isn't
Yeah,
real. Like all the statistics that we are using, they're made up to play the game with. So I can role play and get as deep as possible. And if his actions get him betrayed, or his brother dies, or something tragic happens, I know, like, oh, am I glad that wasn't me? you know? But
yes,
I can experience it and I can role play through it and I can go through the motions of it happening and it can be like a life experience for myself. But it didn't
yeah,
happen. It happened to my character, not myself. But role
yeah,
playing it and not breaking the illusion allows us to form the memories as if it happened.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I say about vulnerability, of course, I don't mean that you actually, if someone stabs your character, the GM should take a pencil and
No,
and,
no, no,
and
no. I
stab
mean,
you under the ribs. No, it's another level of immersion. Yeah, I'm just
that's,
saying that. Yeah, I'm just saying that. Yeah, exactly. That you're less like you just implement into your character some fears that you have as a human being,
yeah,
or you put yourself in a situation that are important to you as a person. And in this case, as you said, it's become a theater therapy. There is this movement in the one of the therapies, like psychotherapies. It's like therapy of the theater therapy, when
okay,
people actually play out the scenes in the theater that they're afraid of. They just take in the roles, like someone afraid to fly in a plane. So
right,
you are imagining that you're in the plane, and everyone plays out that you're in the plane, and the plane crashes. So you actually play out the thing that you're afraid of, and because it's a safe space, it kind of helps you to reduce the fear. So I think, yeah, in a way, I'm not saying that should play TTRPGs as a therapy sessions, but that's one of the things that actually one of approach that someone can take, implement something that he's afraid of as a character, put it
yeah.
there, and you'll feel more attached. You'll feel more immersed, but at the same time, not like it will be a safe way to play it out and not experience in the real life.
Right. And also, when I think vulnerability, is also means the other players have your best interest at heart and aren't just playing to like kill your character
Partly from the safe
because
perspective.
you like
Yes.
didn't pay for lunch a week ago when he said you totally would, but then you forgot about it. So now he wants to kill your character or some silly stupid
Yeah.
problem that, they're not gonna tell you they have a problem, but they're gonna let it out on your character in the next game session.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another topic, like how many things are uh, how that the whole session, like how it will go, depends on so many factors. Like even like if the players started to play the game, but some of the players or GM didn't eat anything for the last 6 hours,
Yeah,
the game will be not as good as if as if he would be like satisfied, his hunger would be satisfied, right? So
yeah,
there are many just physical stuff in our life that can affect the game that we play. So
absolutely.
that's yeah.
All right, so we are in the home stretch. I don't want to like take you for longer than 2 hours. So I want to. I've asked chat if they have any questions. So let's see if you guys are watching. Thank you for watching, and like let Claus know if there are any questions here. I have at least one. So why are you guys so handsome? Okay, that's not that's not a real question.
It's not real. It's not real. It's AI something filters.
It's all CGI filters. That's how we do it.
But thank you for the question. Yes, it's a
We did have to
good
go to
question.
space. That was pretty hard.
Space, I don't know, collagen and no face. Yeah.
Okay, the real question here. What are Claus plans with 4D with your local communities?
Uh, so currently, I'm trying to spread the good news of 4D in a way that I can do it, right? So I'm recruiting new players that have never tried play TTRPGs, and I'm starting from scratch. That's the one way to do it, because as I found, I spend a lot of time of like in search of other players that want to try something else, and it goes not as well. But if like for example, I can when I find someone who is in like this database who are they tell I'm in UB, I have no idea, but I'm glad to play anything, and I understand that this is a serious person, like he's adult or something, yeah, and I just write to him and says okay, we can try something, and then I make a Discord call. I vet them like in the conversation, just explain the concept of 4D, giving some really good
Yeah.
what's this role play etiquette that Conway gave me. This like list of the role play etiquette. I really like it. It's a good one. So and then offer them to play a game or come and watch a game that we have with other players. And that's the one way how I do it. I have a YouTube channel where I kind of also like did some unsolicited advice, but I don't think I will push it too far because I'm not a YouTube person. I will not do editing and all this stuff. I'm not running for the subscribers. So, but I'd like to have this kind of 4D server in the Discord, but with the Russian community. It will be nice to have a small group of people who wants to
Absolutely.
multiply.
It would be nice. I've watched a couple of your videos, but well, of course, it takes all of my attention since I need to read the subtitles and interpret what they mean. So I only watched about 20 minutes, but I really like it. And I think you have a great grasp of what 4D role playing is, or at least what it's supposed to accomplish. So I think you're doing a great job from what I can see.
Oh, yeah, and another thing, of course, one of the reasons why collecting those players, I want to make a good like party, the group of players, to play out a one-shot game and to record it and put it like there on the YouTube, so it will be much easier for me to explain for the other role players what it is, and
Yeah,
actually to invest in this good game sessions to represent 4D in the best way possible with the people who have never played TTRPG before. That it's possible and easier than people think. So
absolutely.
that's another thing, yeah.
I know people in the Discord did ask me of if I'm gonna make what is for the roleplay German video for the German audience,
Ooh,
and I just
ooh.
don't want to do it. I'm not I'm
Okay.
not interested in playing with Germans, but I could.
So
It would be cool for my region that okay, what is this style of roleplay? Oh, we have a word for it, and these are what we try to accomplish, and these are the rules on how we are going to accomplish it. So that
yeah,
would
I
also be
understand
interesting.
you. I also showed some 4D role play like with Crispy, I think, to some of the players with whom we have a group like offline in real life, because I don't have other examples, and I think they watched it. But you need to understand, like in the Russian-speaking community, there are not so many people who can like. They also need to push themselves to listen with the subtitles, and
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
some effort. So
yeah, absolutely. I guess like the jump from Russia to English is much bigger than German to English, which has like
yeah,
more commonality.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, yeah. And your English is better than mine. I think German speaks English better
My
than
English is
Russians.
better than my German, man.
Okay,
I
I
just
can
speak
believe
English
that.
all the time. I don't even speak
Okay,
German anymore. It's
that's cool.
I'm kind of since I like role playing, a lot of my hobbies are online. So I don't go outside as much. I don't talk to many people. So
Mm.
my German is, not used very often. Which
Oh,
is
sorry
like,
to hear that, but
well,
okay.
that's life. That's just the reality of things. But it's also like, okay, as a game master, trying to describe everything in German is hard because, well, what are all the medieval buildings called in German? I know the English words, but to figure out the German words, I need to look up the encyclopedia,
Yeah, encyclopedia. Yeah,
yeah, for all the
yeah. I
different
can.
words.
Yeah, yeah. Totally. Yeah, yeah. I understand you because uh, currently I'm married to a girl, and she's like English speaker, right? English is a native, so we speak in English at home. So therefore, and I'm not in Russia right now, so most of the time I'm also using English and not Russian. So when I have a game in Russian, I have problems of like
Yeah,
to remember to remind myself how to say it in Russian because
you
I
need
just
to
lost.
you need to kickstart your brain a little bit the first 20 minutes and get
Yes.
into talking in your native language, and then now all the
Yeah.
words come back to me, and feels normal again.
Oh, yeah, more than that, maybe the last funny story. So when I had this mothership game, right, with the Americans, there was one character NPC, and he had a Russian background, so he had a Russian surname, right, second name, and I thought, oh, he needs to he will speak with a Russian accent, right? So, and then I tried to fake the Russian accent, and it was not as strong as I was hoping to. So I asked for a help of like a native speaker to remind me how to make a Russian accent to play it out. So that was ridiculous. That was
So
ridiculous.
you speaking in English, but you put the accent on for the character?
I mean, I still have when I speak English right now, I have this like kind of Russian Slav accent, yes, but
Yes.
it's not as strong as it would be if it would be a Russian like speaker. Like if the Russian speaks English, it will have much stronger Russian accent like this,
Oh,
usually,
yeah.
right, in the
Yeah.
movies or somewhere. So I tried to implement this accent, and I just couldn't produce it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. I don't see any more. Chat, I give you like 1 more minute. If you got any questions, we talked about lots of topics. I'm very happy. Yeah, exactly 1 minute. So we're counting down, guys. I'm glad we got to go to space and talk about role playing. We have lots of commonalities here. If Chet's still wondering, the name of the channel is on the video. It's under him. It's 4D space the way it's spelled, 4DS with the distance and then pace. So there will be a link in the description after the stream has ended and I have some time to put it in there. But I can probably look it up real quick and post it in chat. I'm gonna have that for chat as well. Hello, Elfunder. Welcome.
Oh.
Okay. Nicholas said, I cannot exaggerate my own accent. That's impressive, Claus. Yeah.
What do you mean you can't? Of course you can. Of course you can.
He has the Brazilian accent every time he talks. It's just, he always talks the same. Like, when he plays a goblin, that's a Brazilian goblin right there.
Oh yeah, Nicholas, I really want to hear like how much you can push your. I have no idea how the Brazilian accent sounds, so I'm really interested. So I need to hear it once at least. Yeah.
Yeah, he is playing with us in the Pathfinder campaign, and he was a player in my D&D campaign, the Lich's Drags. So we got the goblin, and then we got this Middle Eastern pirate style character.
Yeah, I watched some of it.
We talked in Discord, man. Okay, well, there you go. It's okay. Okay, yeah, let's wrap this up here. Do you have any last thoughts that you really, really want to bring up that we completely missed?
So I don't think we missed something, but if I want to finish on something, I probably would say that yeah, the as everyone says in the 4D community, right? If you think, or if you played, or if you watched any 4D plays like sessions games, I don't think you need to push yourself really hard to try, to implement everything all at once, right? So because it can be hard, it can be overwhelming. So yeah, that's maybe the main thing. So to try to do step by step. People who I know and to whom I already told about this style, some of them try to implement everything all at once, and they said to their players, "Okay, now we're gonna play this style." And then they said it was like the players were lost. So, and I had the same experience too. So, or do it with the new players, and then you can give as many rules as possible, or do it like slowly, step by step. Maybe I think this is the way. This is the way to improve game at the table, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Already shifting towards this style, without any hindrances and
Fantastic.
hardships. Yeah.
All right. I wish you guys a good evening or afternoon, and see you around for next time.